What's up, everybody? It's your boy Rick coming at you the day after Canelo gets dominated by Crawford. You wonder how I predicted this fight. I was telling you all in all the previous videos, I had to just go back and look at the data on these two and study them. And, I always went back to that first Floyd Mayweather fight. If you watched the first Floyd Mayweather fight, there was a lot there. You could just see Canelo was outclassed, as I predicted on this channel. I have receipts. Go back and check it out. When the fight was first like a fantasy, I really didn't know. I had to think about like who was gonna win. I was like, oh, maybe the weight is just too much. I get it. Some people made that mistake. So I would go back and I would think about that. But then when the fight was announced, you can see I just put out tons of videos because I had visualized this fight over and over and over. Boxing is the only sport I ever watched. This is your boy Rick, by the way. Been doing this for years, predicting fights. Most of the predictions are right on this channel. I out-predict so-called boxing experts. So if I'm not for me, who will be? I'm in boxing. I'm a boxing expert. That's right. So a lot of haters left comments. Not everybody, a lot of people are cool, but there's some haters out there. I got all the comments. I'm going to use your comments for future videos. Really fun stuff. I do it for fun. It's not like I'm really mad at you guys. It's all right. Telling me I don't know boxing when I told you Lomachenko would beat Rigondeaux. How I don't know boxing when I told you Floyd Mayweather would outbox Canelo with ease. I knew he was going to be outclassed, and that's what this was, because I told you in previous videos, as I gave you all the keys to victory, I gave you all the scenarios, even the cut played out. I talked about the cut in the video. It's all here on his channel, all the receipts. I just it was an easy prediction for me because I just visualized the height, the weight, and he's not, I mean, come on, Canelo, they were talking about him like he was some type of heavyweight. Come on, he fought Floyd and lost. So the guy was marketed right. Really, really good fighter. Not discrediting him, but not an elite fighter. So he's been beat several times. He had 2 draws. Bivol, 2 losses. Bivol did what he did to him. GGG, I thought, won the first fight easily. I mean, sorry, not easily. Easy to see that he won the first fight. It wasn't too hard to judge that. My point is that Crawford, like I said, everyone kept saying a good big man will always beat a good little man. But I told you right here, I told you over and over and over, this is not a good Canelo. He's not a good little man. He's a great, unsolved, undefeated, smaller guy. And he wasn't even that smaller. He wasn't even that, if you look at them in the ring, give me a break. And I also said when there's people like this Mario Lopez guy, he was saying that Crawford's shots are going to be like ping pongs. He'll do nothing to Canelo. He's going to get destroyed. I was like, if you tap an egg hard enough over and over and over, what happens? It cracks. I've seen it all my life with boxing. Crawford had this guy wobbled at one point in the fight. If you look, Canelo's legs were looking kind of, and he was frustrated. You could see the body language. You could see when I talked about psychologically Canelo fading there and thinking, oh my God, I'm losing. I can't get him. Classy guy. I didn't watch the post-fight, interviews in front of the press. I didn't watch any of that stuff, but he totally gave him so much credit because it's going to look bad for his, for him if he's sitting there going, oh, I couldn't hit him because he ran and all those excuses. He got outboxed. Canelo, like I said in the keys to victory, couldn't set his shots up. And by the way, and Crawford did exactly what I said, kept his back off the ropes for the most part. I broke this all down prior to the fight. But by the way, how are you classifying Canelo when he doesn't even throw a jab? He doesn't even utilize, it's rare when he throws a jab. How is he going to beat a Crawford level greatness, rarefied air, amazing, unbelievable pound for pound legend when you don't even throw a jab? Canelo being the younger guy by arguably 2.5, 3 years. Canelo's 35. Crawford's about to turn 38. They said next month. It was all there. It was all there if you read the room before this fight. Now, a lot of these so-called boxing experts, how in the hell do they have a guy that doesn't even throw a jab, hardly throws jabs, beating a Crawford and just being disillusioned by the press? I don't understand. The hype, the marketing of Canelo, the marketing machine of Canelo Álvarez. They do a great job of making you believe that this guy is a Pernell Whitaker, pound for pound, Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather level fighter when he was never that. So that's why it was easy to predict. I'm sorry. These are just facts. A lot of people just dismiss this. Oh, you're a Canelo hater. No, I'm just being realistic. again, to prove that, big fan of Pacquiao. But I knew Floyd Mayweather was in another level. He was at another level, another class. Pacquiao was always really, really, really amazing and great, but he was just never at the level of these boxing IQ geniuses. They have everything. They have the IQ, they have the skills, they have everything that makes them one of the rare fighters throughout boxing history. And Crawford was always that, and Canelo was never that. So the only way Canelo was really going to win this fight was maybe if Crawford just fought him when he was 40 years old. I don't think Crawford, they could fight 10 times, 100 times on that night, last night. The better man won, and the right guy won with the skill levels, and we saw it. And I would be telling you the same thing if Canelo had won this. I would have gave him his props, but that wasn't going to ever happen in this planet. It was a fantasy on this planet. It didn't happen, not going to happen. The only way that happens if Crawford, and I would never advise this, keeps fighting and Canelo's hoping he ages out. He'll get older. Age will beat everybody, obviously. So Canelo did a really good thing. You know, he stayed in the fight. At one point, his body language turned to the side when he missed the jab, or not even a jab, a punch. And he was like, "Oh God!" You could see he's like, "I can't even do what I want to do." He couldn't even. This guy was levels above Canelo Álvarez. Do you realize that? Do you realize that? I know you're a Canelo fan and you're pissed off. Don't get mad at me like you were before. By the way, thanks for the comments. Some people wrote books about how I know nothing about boxing. Hey guys, I have all those comments saved because a lot of these cats, they go back on in the comments and they start deleting them. They literally, I have seen it. You know nothing about boxing. You suck. And then you're going to be wrong. And this is why Canelo's going to do this and this and that. I screenshotted almost every one of them. Almost. Not the good ones. Because I'm going to use it as future content, perhaps. It's funny. Thank you. Cheers to you. Salute. I'm having a espresso. So, upset. To me, this wasn't an upset. The odds makers had it wrong. I was telling you all this. Hope I made you some money if you were betting. One guy said he bet 12 grand on Crawford. Congratulations if you did, going the distance. And I told you that would happen. I'll tell you, if this was a 15-round fight like back in the day, I think Canelo, there was a possibility he would get knocked out. This guy, Crawford was so slept on, and I don't understand it. I'll never understand why people were sleeping on this guy so much when you could see how gifted he was if you paid attention to what he was doing in all these fights. 41 fights, 0 losses. Look what he did to Errol Spence. And then again, I don't get the disconnection here. I get it, it's marketing. They're selling a fight. So a lot of these commentators that get paid to pump the fight for Netflix now, they're going to sell you Canelo like he's a pound-for-pound legend. As he's walking in the ring, I'm saying to my wife, he's not a pound-for-pound legend. This guy's going to outclass him. Watch, he's going to lose. It's all there. It already happened. He's already got losses. He's already been like outclassed by good fighters. I'm sorry. This to me was an outclassing. You saw talent tells, like Larry Merchant on HBO used to say. Talent tells. It told the truth. Who says the chamber of truth? I think that's Teddy Atlas. It came out. This was kind of, it looked easy. He made it look easy, kind of, sort of. But it wasn't, of course, because a great pound-for-pound fighter that changes and does what Crawford does. He has all the skills and the talent, and it all came down to this, his entire career, to this one moment. So with all the gifts and everything he trained for and prepared for and everything he knows up here psychologically, everything he never lost, it all had to be perfection for him to make Canelo look very ordinary. And that's what he did. I'm sorry, it's the truth. Some guy, thank you for the comment. You wrote, I don't have it right with me, but you wrote, wow, before the fight actually happened, because hindsight's 2020. I always say that in boxing. So he was like, wow, you say what a lot of people don't say on TV. You know, wow, you're a great channel, great analysis. Thank you. Just for fun, it's fun. And I just really have to tell you, I just am not shocked. To me, it wasn't an upset. Vegas, they should have had me make the odds. They don't know what they're doing. This was just like a total hype job. People become disillusioned by marketing. It's very easy, like the commercials. They're selling you Canelo Álvarez is somehow some pound for pound. They're trying to make it like he's undefeated, a legend. This guy arguably lost like 2 draws, 2 losses. Arguably lost, some people say 6 times. I mean, please. And then you have an undefeated fighter that can jump up in weight because he's so damn gifted. And you can see it. He's not average, far from average. And I don't know how any boxing fan or someone, an expert, could have had Canelo win in this fight. I just don't get it. To me, it was just very obvious when you study them, when you look at them. Now, when it was a fantasy fight, I didn't put much thought into it. When the fight was made, I just kept putting out videos because I looked at the videos, I did my homework, and I did my analysis, and everything I knew about boxing told me, wow, Crawford's just great. He can move up to 2-3 weights, and he can do this. Canelo is just not a pound for pound great fighter. He's just short. He's just short of that. You know, he's just short of Pernell Whitaker, of all of the greats, Floyd Mayweather. You saw it was the blueprint was already there. Yeah, Crawford's not. I get it, Floyd Mayweather, but you could see the skill level that night. I don't care what anyone says. If Canelo was 23, he was in his prime, 23, 24 when he fought Floyd, and he was just outclassed on a different level, Floyd was. And he showed you all the weaknesses, that how he has problems with boxers. And then a southpaw, please. When guys like Tito Trinidad were knocking people straight out at that age, and just unbelievably, until he went up for it. I'm not saying Tito Trinidad is up there with, like a Floyd Mayweather, but I'm saying he was crushing it at 22, 23, 24, undefeated. Just Canelo looked really, really, really vulnerable in that Floyd fight, and then he looked really vulnerable in his recent losses. And I just said Crawford never looked vulnerable, or Crawford never looked like he was suspect in any way. This guy is on another level, and I've been saying it over and over like a broken record. And now, of course, I don't know. Some people will just be in denial about this, and what's my excuse when Crawford loses? That's what you told me. So I'm going to say, what's your excuse, you Canelo fans? You're going to come on here and start hating? Please, it's just boxing. Come on. It's sport. There's nothing personal about this. I'm just calling it like I see it. I would be saying the same thing if I saw it the other way, no problem. But unfortunately, if you're a Canelo fan, it's going to be hard to suck this loss up. Suck it up. He's not a pound-for-pound legend. He got exposed again, and he was outclassed. Straight up, I'll say it. They aren't going to say it on TV. They were selling you a product. They matched this man right. They had people disillusioned, these Canelo fans, into thinking somehow he's going to knock Crawford out in 3 rounds. I told you all. I said, what are you, crazy? He's not going to knock Crawford out. Crawford's never even been down. What kind of madness is this? This is madness. And I went through it. All the receipts are here. And what shall we talk about next? What do you want to hear? You want to hear how Vargas' son is like a Camacho Jr., how he's really not, he's never going to be a legend or a great fighter. We could talk about that. I mean, come on. But it was really good. I like that Guatemalan guy. What's his name? Martinez. That guy, he looked, that fight, those two guys, they were really good. They have a bright future in boxing. Those two, they gave a good fight. I was surprised to see that. I honestly didn't even check out the undercard. I read it real quick, thought nothing of it, and I did watch that. So I'm glad I got to see that. We'll see what happens, how they develop. Really, really good-looking young fighters there. Hey, I just wish everybody the best. It was a great fight, but again, in my opinion, well, when I come on, it's just facts. And look how hard Crawford had to win. The judges, I was worried about that. I made a video right on the day yesterday. The judges. Look how hard Crawford, and look how much he had to dominate to get a unanimous decision, He had to work his behind off and look like he won every round to get that. I think what we were seeing, the actual, what was the guy's name? I don't know, on Netflix, the actual judge they have hired, he had it right. Canelo hardly won any rounds. Maybe if you're generous, you give him 3. This guy was dominated. And Crawford didn't even have to switch up, and he was just so good out of the southpaw position, which I said in the keys to victory, he should come out like that. And a lot of the boxing heads, including myself, they, according to Netflix commentary, they said that. By the way, I just want to go into this real quick. When you have a movie, you have a lead character. We're missing a lead character on the commentating team for Netflix or any of these things. Jim Lampley's the star. He's the lead. Commentary stinks without like a lead like that. Max Kellerman and Andre Ward, usually you'll have those two. I'm giving you an example. Andre Ward, the real boxer, and he does great analysis. And then you have the lead, the star commentator. That would be Jim Lampley. So you have a lead. There was no lead. I didn't hear a lead there. I was very disappointed. Max Kellerman and Andre Ward and whoever the other guy was. I'm like, what is this? What is this? Get it? Hey, add Jim Lampley. Get Jim Lampley on to one of these big cards and have the lead actor, the lead commentator, or someone, get someone with that level of talent to start calling the fights on these major fights, because it just elevates the whole production. In my opinion, there was no lead commentary, and we need that star there, and there was really no star there. Like I said, there was always, historically in boxing, there was always someone that was the lead, Jim Lampley. There was a Larry Merchant, great reporter. He said great things in the fight. That would be, okay, let's give it to Max Kellerman, all right? And then you'd have the Andre Ward, which would be George Foreman. Earlier on, Sugar Ray Leonard for HBO. You know what I'm saying? We need a lead guy, like a Jim Lampley level guy. If they're not going to hire Jim Lampley for whatever reason, maybe he wants too much money, I don't know. We need to find a Jim Lampley in this generation. It needs to happen, because it just will elevate the entire boxing production. Whereas I'm listening, it's not captivating to hear these guys talking back and forth. There's no, if you watched HBO back in the day, the energy, the high drama, Larry, and it would be Jim Lampley. I mean, these guys created, there was always the drama in the fight, and then you had the audio drama. You had that, and it just elevated the production to where it's like, oh my God, this is amazing. Why are not people getting that? It's lost on me. Anyway, I'll be back with another one. Let's hope we get more good fights. And as for, I keep hearing about the golden age of boxing. That's wishful thinking. I'd like to say that I think that's someone that's employed by Netflix, or that's hoping there's a golden age so they can keep a big job ringside or boxing. How do you have a golden age of boxing when it's so disjointed, where you have so many apps, you have so many streaming services, and no one knows who the hell anyone is? Like I said, no one knows. I was going up to people, you'd never heard of Crawford, they'd never heard of Canelo. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Nobody was aware of this. I don't know if there's 90, let's just say 90 to 100,000, 90 to 100 million Netflix subscribers. Maybe, I don't know, if you're lucky, 15% were solid were watching this. Maybe it's probably a lot less than that. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to resurrect boxing to some type of golden age. I don't know where that comes from. I disagree. As much as I'm a boxing fan, I was finally excited. It's been a while since I actually shook and was happy and excited to see a fight. And then it panned out like I said. I'm going on too long here. I said when the fight, I was like, literally, I was so convinced. And you'll be hearing the commentators just saying, but he could still knock him out. But he could still knock him out. It's Canelo's being outclassed and outboxed. But he can knock him out. There's always that. They're just selling you that. But please, he wasn't going to ever knock out Crawford. You must be high. I'm out.